as a part of the, professional football culture, what inspired you to start playing football in the first place?
Well, what inspired me to start playing in the first place? It is a funny story. So I was a kid. I was in like seventh grade when I first actually started playing. And most of my friends, they always wanted to play football growing up. But I was honestly very, very big crybaby. So I honestly didn't even want to play. So what ended up happening was I wanted to just play basketball and I wanted to play baseball. And I didn't want to get hit, none of that. Like no, I just didn't even think about none of that.
Mhm.
And then my coach, how it happened was he put us all in the locker room and he was like, whoever doesn't want to play football, raise your hand. And I'm looking around at my friends and no one like is raising their hand. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give it a try. So that's honestly as funny as it sounds, that's how I got into it. And
Mhm.
I started playing and kind of like started to actually like it a lot. Like started to fall in love with it.
And, did you actually have a particular athlete that you were following or looking up to, watching their moves and stuff like that?
Honestly, I didn't start like getting really into it until like I felt like I was a terrible player. So I was such a terrible athlete at first at football when I first started because I didn't have any teaching. I didn't really know too much about the sport just in general.
Hmm.
And the older I got, the more I started really, really watching people like Odell Beckham, Jerry Rice, and I became a real big Odell Beckham fan, like a
Okay.
real big Odell Beckham fan. And I started watching every movement he did. And the older I got, the more I realized it wasn't even just like his movements; it was just how he did things off the field while he did stuff on the field.
Hmm. And so, you see Odell Beckham, you see where his career is now, even based off some of the things that he's had happen off the field. So, what do you like about, or like and dislike about the professional football culture since you've elevated into that realm?
Honestly, my biggest takeaway from it is the connections. Speaking to people, getting to know people, enjoying just being around people.
Yeah.
I'm a big people's person, so
Mhm.
I enjoy just different people's energies and stuff like that. I love the game of football, love it to death. But at the end of the day, football eventually is gonna end for me, and so I just enjoy just being around people, just in general with like minds, seeing how football changed their life and how they're able to progress from football, like how they're able to find things outside of football that they love because football got them to that certain point, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Right, right. So if you could change anything about the culture of football, what would you change based off your experience?
If I could change one thing about the culture of football, what would I change? It would, me personally, like I
Hmm.
said, I'm a big people's person. I
Hmm.
would change some of the thought processes behind why are you a football player, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
I would try my best to change the whole like the thought process because a lot of people go into it for money reasons, which is very
Money.
very very known. And it's okay too. Some
Hmm.
people go for just the fame. Some people go for the girls. Some people go for different. They just go for different reasons. And if I
Hmm.
could change one thing, I would like to have everybody think about what football could do for them after, if that makes sense. Like you
Yeah.
can go into it, you can enjoy yourself, have fun playing the game, enjoy it,
Hmm.
because now it's like at a professional level, you enjoy it, but it's more so it's a business.
Right.
It's a business at the end of the day. So you enjoy it, but if you ain't getting the job done, you up
Hmm.
out of there. That's how it is, and that's everything in life though in general. So you
Hmm.
have to perform, and you have to do good. So even if you do perform well, I want people to know performing well in the sport is gonna get you. It'll get you so far, but you
Hmm.
also have to be a people's person. You also have to be able to speak. You also have to be able to communicate with kids. You have to be able to communicate with people in your community. You have to be able to try to change lives outside of just playing football. You're more than a football player. Like
Right.
you're a human being.
That's so
So
true. Yeah, like what you do off the field matters, right?
Hmm.
And how you're going to use your platform matters.
Hmm.
You have a huge platform and very lucrative. People are going to listen to what you have to say.
Hmm.
So, what is the big differences between the different types of, professional football? You have like the USFL, then you have the indoor football, then you have the just, regular NFL. So what's different about, your position compared to like USFL, which a lot of football players kind of have ended up going into recently?
I'm gonna be honest. It's very hard to find differences, but the biggest difference in my head is indoor. It's according on what position you play, if that makes sense. If you're an indoor and you play wide receiver, you have
Mm-hmm.
to be quicker. Like
Okay.
you have to get from point A to point B quicker because it's such a short amount of it's such a short area,
Mm-hmm.
and defenders and stuff can get to that area as fast as you can because it's such a short area. Outdoor, as crazy as it sounds, it's a little bit easier.
Oh,
Like
that's
it's a little bit easier because you have so much space to work with. You
okay.
just when you have a lot of space and you an athlete, it's a lot easier to move around. It really is. Indoor, you have this much window, and
Okay.
every catch is a tough catch because everyone's right next to you. And outdoor, you may end up going one on one down the sideline, and the next person next to you may be 15 yards apart.
Mm,
Like so, it's a lot easier outdoor is than indoor.
mhm.
But honestly, I love being outdoors more than I like being indoors. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's just you can have it. The atmosphere is just different. It's just so much different.
Okay. What's the name of the university you're at again?
Life University
Life University. And where is that located?
in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. So, when it came to choosing your university, where you decided to study, what was your process of elimination? Because I'm sure you had other options of, universities to go to.
So, when I was trying to figure out which doctorate program I wanted to go to, I honestly I had two in mind. It was another one that was called Palmer University, which was just as highly ranked as Life.
Mhm.
Life is ranked number one in the country, like number one in the whole not country, but in the whole world for chiropractic.
Oh, wow.
So I said, if I'm gonna go to something, I'm gonna go to something challenging. I want to
Mhm.
go something. I want to know exactly what I'm doing when I get out, how I'm doing it. I want to make sure I go to the best of the best because I don't want to be second. I want
Right.
to be, I want to be first.
You are
So,
competitive. Yeah.
so I decided to come here. It's definitely first. So tough times, but I enjoy every day. I enjoy every single day. It's enjoyable. It's how do I describe it? Challenging,
Mhm.
but I keep a great GPA, and I'm in the master's program as well.
That is
So I do the
awesome.
master's and the doctorate, and yeah, at the same time. So I'm in like
Wow.
33 credit hours a quarter.
Congratulations. That's like a congratulations type of thing because
Thank you.
that is so challenging. Oh my gosh.
And so I'm getting my doctorate now in chiropractic, and I'm getting my master's in sports and health science.
Oh my gosh. Sounds like that's so awesome and really impressive.
Thank
Especially,
you, thank you.
yeah, especially for an athlete. But you're obviously able to manage that well. And I think you're also thinking about like, what you're going to do for plan B or, life after football too, right? You're kind of setting up for that. What was the process of getting into playing indoor football? Like, say if, somebody's coming out of high school and they don't know whether they want to do regular NFL outdoor football or if they want to do indoor. What is that process like for you to even get in that type of professional football?
I'm gonna be honest. I never even thought about playing indoor, not even close.
Okay.
I wanted to stay outdoors. That was like that's all I knew growing up in
Right.
Mississippi. Like
Mhm.
never even thought about playing indoor football. It kind of happened because I had a real good friend of mine. He actually passed away, Christian
Okay.
Salisbury.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Um, But he passed away, and he ended up sending me FCF on like little snippets and stuff like that. And he was like, Marcus, I know you're looking for a place to play. This is during COVID. So I'm like, okay, I guess football's over for me. I'm sad, all this other stuff
A
like
lot of
that.
people thought that, yeah.
Exactly. So then FCF was running this camp, and I was like, it's a new league. I'm not too, And
Yeah.
then he was just like, yeah, Quavo is one of the owners. And I was like, what? I was like, what? Quavo is one of the owners of one of the teams? He was like, yeah. He was like destroying the big YouTuber. I was like, they got sound like they're gonna hold up a little bit. So I'm like, all right. And then I hear a couple NFL teams and stuff like that would look into the league, different things of that sort. So I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what it's about. I didn't realize how big indoor is in certain areas of the country. I'm so used to being in Mississippi. This also gave me a very, very different thought process. It really did, because I was more so on outdoor football, 60,000 fans in the crowd, 70,000, like stuff like that. Then I get the indoor, and I'm seeing we play the first game. It's 1 million viewers. That's like watching it on TV, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm like,
Mainstream network type views, right? The
exactly.
millions, yeah.
And so I'm like, what? I'm like, people really tune into this for real? I'm honestly planning to get to the next level to try to get to the NFL. And so I get out there, and they just like, yeah, it's 1.2 million watching right now, this, and this. And I'm just like, you said what? Like, and so I get out there, I started having the time of my life. And honestly, even if it wasn't 1 million fans, that was the most fun football I've ever played in my life.
Wow.
Like, that was so much fun. Like, if I could go back and, it was so much fun.
Wow.
It was so.
Wow. And that's somewhat of a rarity that it's like fun like that, because it comes with a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? Especially like, in just the NFL in general. So that's really eye-opening. For it to be fun, we didn't know that Quavo was helping fund any type of indoor football league or organization. So that could be motivating in a way too, because he's using his platform to help athletes. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand how that changed your thought process a little bit, but only for the better. What are some of the biggest challenges that you faced thus far being a professional athlete?
Some of the biggest challenges I faced was you are not the best player on your team anymore.
And who told you that? Who told you that?
Like, who told me that?
Yeah.
Honestly, it was me. Like, it was me watching. That's really what it was. It wasn't me.
You told yourself that.
No. Like, it was
a coach?
more, well, in a way. I started being around a couple people, and I was like, okay, I got to think smarter. Not necessarily, I'm not gonna be the most athletic anymore.
Okay.
I just need to be the best player. And so it's different being the best athlete than being the best player. Because some of these guys wake up in the morning and they can run a 4.3. I can't necessarily do that. Like, some people wake up in the morning and have a 42-inch vertical. I have to grind really hard to get to that point.
But then let's not forget about the fact you just raced T.O. I mean, that's like the legend. So you obviously have something that many other athletes don't have to even be up for that spot to even race against him. So I just want to put that out there.
No, I appreciate that. And it's not that I don't necessarily think I'm a really good athlete. It's more so that I always feel like I got places to build. So it's not that I'm looking at them and being like, okay, they're better necessarily. It's that in my head, I'm like, okay, they have more training in this area than I did. So guess what? I can sit back and learn what they learned in that area, and I can get even better. Or I can watch another guy and see that he's jumping a 41-inch vertical. How did he get to that point? And I started asking questions, trying to figure it out. So it's not necessarily, I think they're more athletic in different areas. That's what I meant to say. It's not necessarily that they're the best athlete. They're in different areas. People do better. Right. So like jumping, running, catching. Like, my biggest attribute is catching and running routes. I have huge hands.
Those hands.
So yeah, I got huge hands. So when it comes down to catching, honestly, I think I'm the best athlete catching the ball. If I'm being honest. When it comes down to jumping, I can jump pretty good, but I know another guy that can jump higher. So it's like I feel like I can always find something to build off of. It not necessarily that I think someone's better, is that I feel like I can build off of it. And build
Right.
off like find a way to get better.
And that's great because that's a great attribute to have as being a part of a team. You know like which players are really good at certain things when it comes to game time. Okay,
Mhm.
I think you should put this person in because they're way better than this. But your coach, I think they still see the potential in you for you to take a chance and risk, this play on this player. So no, I'm going to put you in, but that's still really good, that you're open-minded and you are open to learning more and know how to, take the steps to better yourself, even if that is learning from your teammate,
Mhm.
because some people are just strictly competitive, right? Once they get on a team and they just want to be like the best at everything.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's not what it's all about as your experience in a professional sport. So, when it comes to like you chose indoor football, what did you look for in like a great coach and like the sports organization itself?
Basically, when I first got into it, I was more so looking at the accolades, and if that makes sense. Like I was looking at guys that were coaching in the NFL, guys that was doing that coach people like Larry Fitzgerald,
Mm-hmm.
like things of that sort. I was looking at all that, and the more I stayed in it, the more I started to realize those coaches was extremely knowledgeable. And then there was also some that was coming like I was, that
Mm-hmm.
came from absolutely like
No
nothing in a
background.
way,
Okay.
and they worked so hard to get to where they at that they actually a little bit more knowledgeable than some of the other guys,
Oh
because
wow.
they had to grind every single day. And that's when I started kind of changing my mindset, because they were some of the first people to make me realize that I can get better at different things.
Right.
So like they started making me realize it's different. They made me my thought process change a little bit, because it started changing a little bit. Once it started changing on the field, it started changing a little bit in life too. Because I'm a very, like you said earlier, I'm very competitive. So
Mm-hmm.
like when I learn from others, I definitely want to be the best one out there. That's what I'm
Yeah.
learning. That's what
Right.
I'm learning different from
Right.
different people. So they really taught me a good bit. So that's what I kind of look for, is just people that work extremely hard at what they do,
Mhm.
and that are knowledgeable. Because if you work extremely hard, I can deal with you. I can deal with you because I try my best to work extremely hard.
Right, right. You put your best foot forward every day because it's something you're passionate about, right?
Hmm.
Recently, I want to kind of switch over to something current that just happened, which was your race with Terrell Owens. So, talk about what that race meant to you. I know it was, maybe a short period of time, but you did fly all the way to Fort Lauderdale just to race. So, what was that experience like for you, and how did that even come about?
So I can start off by telling you how it came about. So I slid up in his DM, and I was talking a little bit. So I ended up telling him like, yeah, bro, but you can't end up beating me in the race or whatever. I'm like, he ain't gonna reply. I'm like, he ain't gonna reply. Then all of a sudden I see the little dots pop up. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, hold up. And so he was just like, hey, whenever you want to do it. So I'm like, all right, man, let's do it. And honestly, I get on Instagram that same day. I got a videographer that's here at school with me.
Hmm.
And he was just like, hey, you want to do a video today? I was like, yeah, let's do it today. Let's do it like in like an hour. And so go down there, and I was like, I'm gonna call him out right here on social media. Going to call him out. So I went and called him out, and he accepted. He accepted it really fast. He was like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Because he loves a challenge. That's
Yeah.
one thing I do love about Terrell Owens. He loves a challenge. And the same thing with me. If I don't feel like I'm challenged, I don't want to do it. It's
Yeah.
crazy as it sounds. If I don't feel like it's a challenge, I don't necessarily want to do it.
Right.
And he ends up responding. He was like, let's go ahead and do it. So I was like, where and when? He tells me Fort Lauderdale. I don't think he actually thought I was gonna show up. I really don't think he actually thought I was gonna show up, if I'm
Really?
being honest. And so his agent ended up hitting me up and was like, "Hey, you serious about this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty serious." And I knew in the back of my head, I was like, "Okay, Marcus, this is gonna be a lot of fun, but this is gonna be big for not only like career wise, it's gonna be big for like your chiropractic career, football career, just
Yeah.
your life in general. You're around To, one of the best wide receivers, if not the best
Legendary.
wide receiver,
Yeah.
like to ever play the game. And so it meant so much to me that he even gave me a chance to even go out there and perform and
Mhm.
like and enjoy myself. It was so much fun. I got out there, raced him. He ended up winning. He ended
Yeah.
up winning, but it was so much fun. Like even after the race, I was
Mhm.
just like, bro, I just raced Tia. Like it was
Right.
like the whole time, like it was just like it was. I don't know how to describe it. Like it was something that I wish if I was looking back at my younger self, it's
Mhm.
no way I'd have believed I was would have been in a position to race Terrell Owens. Like it's
Right.
no way. And so looking at it in hindsight and really just whether win, lose, or draw, I was going into it like, bro, you're gonna give it all you got, you're gonna have fun, and you're gonna enjoy yourself because this is gonna change a lot. It's gonna help out so many kids because in my community, most people don't be around stuff like this. Not
Right.
even close. Like we don't have many doctors in the area. We don't have many professional athletes in the area. Most
Mhm.
kids, when I go home, they look at me and they want to train. They want to do this. I meet their parents, all this type of stuff like this. So this only enhanced it. This was something that was great for me and my like just community.
See, and that's awesome to hear because, not many people would have taken the experience like that, but you did because it's not only a learning experience, but it's to show others, the younger athletes, people younger than you that all it took was reaching out to him. You didn't know if he was going to reply or not, but he did, so you went for it. And that's what you have to do in life, especially in football, professional football. So that's awesome to hear. That's really inspiring. And speaking of inspiring, I know To, was inspiring at some point, but who inspires you the most right now in your life and why?
Who inspires me the most is honestly my dad. My dad and honestly my mom too. But my
Mhm.
dad was one of those people to how do I describe it? He's such a hardworking person. Mom is too. But my
Mhm.
dad was one of the dudes that I just looked up to growing up just in general because he wanted me to grow up and be a man, be an independent man, and be able to take care of my family whenever I have one. Be able
Mhm.
to take care of like just whatever I need to take care of. He wanted
Mhm.
me to be able to do it. And he told me if I'm gonna be a ditch digger, I better be the best ditch digger he ever be around. And
Yeah.
so like he said that whatever I do, I need to go 100% at it. And honestly, I take that, and it's crazy as it sounds. I think about it every day. And so every time I wake up in the morning, I go in the mirror. It's so funny because some of my friends see it. So I go in the mirror and I talk to myself before I leave and go
Self-talk.
out.
Yeah.
And I look in the mirror and just be like, "Hey, today is gonna be a great day, and you're gonna change at least one person's life before the day is over with. And if you don't, you didn't have a great day." So
Yeah.
like, so I go. Everyone on campus sees me. Everyone speaks to me. It's funny because they call me like the campus superstar.
Oh, wow.
And so every time I walk around speaking, talking, sometimes I be late to stuff because I be talking, but I enjoy it because at the end of the day, you never know what someone's going through. And as crazy as it sounds, I'd rather be late for certain things
Mhm.
because someone is having a deep talk. You never know what this talk could change a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I rather risk a little bit to make sure they okay.
Yeah, and self-talk is one of the things that it's been around for forever, but not everybody really knew how to do it. People
Hmm.
may look like, are you talking to yourself? Well, don't look at it that way. I'm not
Hmm.
talking to myself, but and what you're saying, waking up every morning, looking in the mirror. Some people, like myself, sometimes I use sticky notes.
Hmm.
Those things are also ways to remind yourself to have a positive day and just to kind of eliminate negative thinking. That goes a long way on and off the field, because you can't predict how a game's going to go, or how your day's going to go all the time, but you do have control in the way that you think and your mindset for the day. When it comes to priorities in your life, what would you say are like the top 5 priorities right now?
Top five.
Because
Ooh,
you're also a student, you're in school, so I'm sure prioritizing is a part of a daily thing. So yeah.
If I had to go in order, family is always family and God is always first. In my head, first God, second family,
Mhm.
third is actually chiropractic and like serving and helping people and that aspect.
Mhm.
Football is kind of like, honestly, it's fourth. It's
Mm.
not even like the first three.
Mm.
Um, and five. I mean, five is just being like, well, four is just being a happy person. Five is football.
Okay.
So
That's really different, because once you reach a professional level or the level that you're at, most people think that would be number one,
mhm.
or at least after God. you know
Yeah.
so that's really interesting, and that's awesome. I think more people should prioritize things like that, because your well-being and your health and your mental health, that all comes first,
Mhm.
before football. It's like going to work. That's your job. The football is your job. How do you actually manage your like athletic responsibilities and other recreational like activities you may be into, um versus like other things? How do you balance the two?
Basically, how I manage and balance it, as far as the off season and stuff and working out, go to class from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then in the evening time around 7, as soon as I get out of class, I'll go work out, go to the gym from 7 to 9. And then this is Monday through Friday. And then
Okay.
from like 9 to 10, I go to the field and run.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's how I do it. And then at 10 o'clock at night, I try to come spend time with friends, be around friends, do homework, and we all have like I'm big in like trying to bring families, like trying to make a family out of certain things.
Oh, that's
So we all
nice.
go like to the end of the hall, and it'd be like 20 of us, and we have like either a game night or I usually set it up or something like that every night, and we'll watch movies or we'll study together, whatever is needed at that point. We'll do it. And so honestly, that's how I manage my day. And I try to call my mom as much as possible, my dad. Don't really call my dad as much as I call my mom, to be honest. But try to talk to family as much as possible. But in general, that's how my normal day goes. And I try to find, like, if I can and I got
Mhm.
a break in between classes or a class gets canceled, I go work out right then and there. And then like I'll run and do all this other stuff. So that's how I honestly manage it Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sundays are more like I go to the gym and move around,
Mhm.
but it's more of a chill day for me.
Well, that's good. Those are important to have, especially with such a rigorous schedule. When you see like football players like Lamar Jackson, right?
Hmm.
So his recent, deal, his mother is the one who was behind that, right?
Hmm.
Would you ever go that route to where like you would allow your mom to make that type of help you make those type of decisions, or have her in that role? Because Michael Jordan did the same thing. Like with his Nike deal, it was his mom who made that happen. I mean, it's pretty insane how it circles back around to like now, like Lamar Jackson in this era, but
Hmm.
it's something that's been around. And I think that like a lot of athletes of color should actually look more into that route than going just the traditional route. What do you think?
I think that's actually a good idea too, because in my head, I'm gonna just be honest for a second.
Yeah.
In my head, women usually handle money a lot better than men do. Just in my head, as far as like what usually happens, because sometimes men like to spurge a little bit and try to overdo a couple of things. That's just sometimes it's just the nature of us. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And
Yeah.
then it's just that's just I can't really explain it, but like say for instance, my mom or my sisters, like my sisters do a really good job of money management, and I look
Mhm,
up to them so. I look up to my sisters and my mom, and I look up to everybody that's in my family, but my sisters, especially when it comes down to money management.
mhm.
It's just yes, I definitely would consider that as definitely like my number one option when it comes down to something like that. Because at the end of the day, I know my mama got me like nobody else got me.
Right,
So
right. Because that's what I was thinking. Like, you never know who truly has your best interest at heart. You don't know like their end game plan versus like yours and what you envision and what your mom envisions. I mean, not necessarily like what she envisions for you, like when you're 3 years old, but like,
yeah.
as a young adult coming into your manhood, you have a vision too. And like your mom is going to allow you to have more of a voice and stuff like that. Not saying that they don't when it comes to like just traditional agents, but
Hmm.
I think that having moms like in these roles are like it's something that's really, that's
Hmm.
it's very progressive and lucrative and it's a great idea. I mean, it's good to keep it in the family. I mean,
I
at
would
least
say,
in that aspect.
and even outside of just the money management part, at the end of the day, like it's your mama. So
Yeah.
she 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 may get mad at you. You may get mad at her. But at the end of the day, your mama gonna make sure you straight. And outside of that, you give your mama a chance to be around something that you love all the time. It mentally is gonna make her feel a lot better because it's like my son trusts me to do this for him. This is like something he's dreamed about always since he's been little. This is something he's dreamed about his whole life, and he's trusted me just to be in this position with him. That's gonna mean more to your mama than what you even know. Like if that makes sense. And I really feel like that'll mean a lot more to my mama than it would to me, which would make me happy if I'm being honest.
If I'm just going to throw this out there,
Mhm.
if the opportunity came right now, would you rather stay in school to finish your degree or would you
Mhm.
declare for the NFL early and why?
I would leave and do the NFL, and the reason why is because okay, so I have let's see, I got another year till I graduate. The
Okay.
NFL only lasts 3 to 4 months, so so how they do it here is a quarter system. And
Mhm.
so since they do a quarter system, you only like you in classes for 3 months, and then you take like a week off and then come back. It's a quarter system instead of semesters.
Okay.
So I could take a quarter off, play in the NFL, and then when all season I come back to school because that's how I've been doing for fan control
Oh,
football. That's how I've been doing for FCO. I
okay.
take a quarter off, and then when I take the quarter off, I'll come back and like I'll play, and then I'll come back and go to school, so I can do
Oh,
both.
okay. Okay. You know how mental health is like a huge part of your well-being and being able to balance things in life as an athlete and as a student. How do you take care of your mental health, when it comes to injuries? Do you use your support system or how do you take care of your mental health on a daily basis?
Honestly, how I take care of my mental health is it's crazy as it sounds. I love seeing people happy so much. So if I sit and I dwell on the injury and I sit and I'm just like, okay, I'm hurt, this, and this, I can't do this, I can't do this.
Mhm.
Honestly, my friends wouldn't even let me do that because I'm such a hyper person and such a hyped up person. And
Okay.
so they'll notice something's wrong immediately. Like
Mhm.
immediately. Like even my professors, they come up to me and they'll know something's wrong.
Mhm.
And because like even when I'm in class, talk a lot. I'm raising my hand every 30 seconds, all this type of stuff. So so how I would do it is I'll go chill with my friends and like I said, we'll have game night. Every day is fun for me. Like I
That's
don't even if I'm being honest, I don't even celebrate my birthday. As crazy as it sounds,
really.
because every single day, like my birthday just passed,
Uh-huh.
and everybody asked me was I doing anything. I was like, no, I'm gonna do normal what I normally do. And because every single day is a birthday to me. I have so much fun.
Well,
Like I
happy
can't.
birthday. Today's your
Oh,
birthday.
thank you, thank you. So like every day I get to chill with friends. I get to chill with people that's almost like a family to me.
Mhm.
It's so much fun. Like I have so much fun. I don't know how to describe it. Like
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying life. Oh, it's a blessing.
Well,
So
that's good,
that's honestly how I get through it is by being around friends and family.
right? So that's a good support system to have because not everybody has that.
Mhm.
Especially when you're in a position that you're in and everybody's looking up to you, especially back at home. And then on the campus, you're like this big superstar too. So that's really good that you are taking the time to take care of your mental health in that aspect.